The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
Hello, hello, hello. Whew, I feel like I just was on here a second ago. This is Ray Felix here with you for Bronx Heroes Live. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are on our 18th episode. Can you believe that? Even though we're just on our 18th episode, I don't know if you guys are aware, we actually had different incarnations of Bronx Heroes as a podcast or video cast or whatever you want to call it over the years, going all the way back to, what was it? I guess 2010 when the Batman movie Suicide Squad was out. That was with a different group of fellas. And then also during the pandemic, we had Bronx Heroes Live, right? So we went from Bronx Heroes Podcast to Bronx Heroes Live, Bronx Heroes Comic-Con Live. And now we're Bronx Heroes War and Comics. And the purpose of this is to facilitate and to encourage people who love comics, love pop culture, to learn to talk about politics, because too many creators, too many fans that I've spoken to throughout the years of being in the industry, when talking about politics, they really don't know much more than what the news is telling them. I encourage them to dive deeper. For me, I think the awakening was as a senior in high school when I was in during the Kuwait War, and everyone was just signing up to go. Just wanted to go to war, including my own father, who went there and got cancer while he was there, breathing in oil, burning oil for about 2 years, or 2.5 years, something like that. And he's no longer with us, died at 63, which is only literally 11 years older than I am now, right? So war is terrible. There's nothing good about it. It's just massive theft. It's, the indoctrination of one person's philosophy and religion and geopolitics over another's. Right. And then, of course, there was 9/11, which was like, oh, shit. The world has never been the same since then. We've been in this war on terror that never seems to end. And blaming a group of people for it, believing that Muslims were the cause of this. And now 26 years later, we're seeing, or 25 years later, we're seeing that doesn't seem to be entirely the case. That it's more complicated than that the United States was involved in our own destruction and demise, along with other proxy entities. There's a lot of good books to read about that. Michael Parente just passed away, and he wrote a lot of good books about, I think it was called Enter the Rubicon or something like that. And he wrote a lot of good books about globalism, and he just passed away recently. He was a very outspoken critic of, and a former agent for the government that spoke against that. I was just going to reread this. I read this back shortly after 9/11. It was called Against All Enemies. And I was like, I need to reread this because it's almost like the government tells on themselves when they're, and they like lie. This was written by Richard E. Clarke, who went against the. It's written very fictionally too. Like if you're reading like a pulp novel, even though he's supposedly telling a nonfiction account, you know. And I had underlined stuff here when I was younger, and I'm just going through it. I'm like, man, we really haven't learned anything as a country in all these years. But the one thing's for certain, we've been lied to for a very long time. And, you know, as an adult, I'm very angry about it. Just as you are. But, you know, you catch these people in their lies by reading their lies. And that's just the way to do it. I mean, it's a very ugly world that we live in. You know. I'm not sure if you're aware, but you know, the SEAL Team 6 that supposedly killed bin Laden was really bin Laden's double. You know, a lot of these political people have doubles, right? Including our own president. You know, they have like people who impersonate them. Like I was saying last week about the Bronx, when Trump was in the Bronx, he had people greeting a fake Trump. A lot of people, you know, some people took it as cosplay, but then now people were on the news like, oh, I met Trump and I shook his hand and he was a nice guy. And it's like, no, you didn't. You were shaking the hand of this. I mean, I was face to face with that guy. It was not Trump because Trump was on stage in the backstage of, but then they had this guy that they paid to that looked, I would say he looked 90% like Trump. Like you could tell that he wasn't Trump, but he had his hat tail down on his head. And and at the SEAL Team 6, if you research the SEAL Team 6 that supposedly killed bin Laden, they were actually killed shortly after. So, yeah, it's a dirty world. I mean, even in our current states, you have the United States in a proxy war with Ukraine and Russia that we got them involved in. And then you have our ally Israel selling weapons during an embargo to the Ukraine, to the Russians. Well, you know, so they're selling U.S. weapons to the Russians to attack the Ukrainians. It's dirty business, right? They're not like us, as the song goes, right? So we're going to delve into the Epstein files. I'm going to let Miguel, he's going to take the lead on this because he's been doing some deeper dive on it than me. And let's do it. Let's bring in Miguel. What's up, dude?
Not much. I'm doing okay. Yeah, heard that. A little bit of that. It's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, speaking of the Epstein files, guess who was employing Epstein?
Mossad, CIA. it's like take your pick.
The Rothschilds.
Oh, the Rothschilds. Oh, yeah, that too.
The Rothschilds, and they were actually looking. They also, it seems like they had some involvement in the coup of 2014 in Maidan. They were looking to get benefits from all this. Now, keep in mind that, as strange as it might seem, we always associate those who are tied to Israel just from like Brooklyn or United States. But there's a good deal that also come from Russia, right? Zionists, right? So what's interesting that's come out from this is that people like Noam Chomsky have obliterated whatever reputation they have, because he was having a back and forth with and got back and forth emails with Epstein, and he got financial advice from him. So it's all around blows up the elite for those who want to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who think that it's just like, actually, Putin's mentioning it, but what's interesting, what's come out is that they were looking to overthrow him. So this is a very deeply tied into this. What else is in there? What isn't in there is the question. Elon Musk has been shown to be an incredible liar, because he said he was invited to go to the parties, but he denied it. But the emails show him begging to go to the parties.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Can I come?
Yeah. Can I come? Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, no, we don't like you.
And that's the tamer shit. There is some other shit that's really, really downright evil.
Oh,
And it isn't, I mean, the trafficking's evil, the raping of children, not young women. People have to stop saying young women. They were children.
your children.
And they went as young as 6. And babies are also involved too.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an actual file talking about George Bush Sr. and some cannibalistic stuff.
Yeah.
Which
Infants, right? Eating infants.
Yes, eating infants. So this is all from him. This isn't basically your neo-Nazi
Right. Chewing
down the corner saying they're eating babies and shit. This comes from them. And then,
and it goes to show you that a lot of the stuff that was coming out, I was just thinking the other day, not to derail you what you're saying, but back in if you remember the 90s, the conspiracy theorists were the liberals, right? Because we had X-Files and all this stuff,
right,
alien stuff. And somewhere along the line, after the Chads, after 9/11, it kind of flipped, it's like it flipped. I mean, even Bush Jr. was calling Democrats conspiracy theorists. He's the one that started calling liberals conspiracy theorists. Now it's kind of like flipped. Where the Republicans are the conspiracy theorists, and the QAnon and all that stuff. It's like,
and guess what? Pizzagate is real. Pizza was mentioned over like several thousand times on that file.
Yeah. And it's on television. There was on television a lot. There was during the Academy Awards, ordering pizzas and all that stuff. And
yeah, and Trump does not come out very good in this.
Yeah.
At all. There's a lot of things in there that are pretty damning.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, what it comes down to is, if nothing is done by the public, then we accept and normalize this behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing like the Panama Papers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're like, yeah, they're all cheating, and on their obviously they're rich people. They're trying to hide their money.
Right.
Another thing is trafficking, raping, murdering, cannibalizing kids. Do we accept this as a society?
Right. And 2 million children disappeared back in 2024, was it?
Yeah. Actually, they were talking to how the collapse of the Soviet Union was a perfect opportunity for them to go in, and because so many people were desperate, right? They went in and they just took.
And then when we started bombing Gaza, they wanted orphanages. They were like, give us your babies. And like, no, our kids are staying with us. And they're monsters. They want to keep their children. And it's like,
yeah.
They know.
But it makes you think, though, all of us who sat around seeing what was happening in Palestine and horrified by seeing the children being killed. Mm-hmm. Once you know that these people who preach to us that they're the paragon of virtue, that they are people who they should be emulated and they're perfect and everything else, and these other people are cannibals and all this shit that they do, they're proven to be. We shouldn't be surprised that that's why they let Gaza happen before our eyes, because they really don't have any respect for us.
Nope. They're done pretending. Well, I'd say after I mean, we spoke about 9/11 last week, and I was just encouraging people read the books that these guys put out. I mean, this one, Against All Enemies, you know, they try to make themselves sound heroic, but they tell on themselves, you know.
Yeah.
They talk about already having the information that Israel already knew. They talk about Pakistan. They talk about all these different connections. And Pakistan aren't they an ally? So it's like all these people had information and it happened anyway. And then you got the dancing Israelis and you got all this stuff. You know, it's like the people that were actually arrested with bomb making material were Israeli Mossad agents posing as artists living in the World Trade Center. You know, it's like
and the thing is that we've been conditioned. We've been so conditioned because of the Holocaust, naturally, that to even bring up such things was anti-Semitism.
Right.
But you have here ultimately a cabal of people who, every single bad thing you read in the Epstein files. I mean, they're even talking about Jewish supremacy, having parties with full Jewish people and DNA testing people to make sure that they're fully Jewish before they go to these big lavish parties.
It doesn't make sense because it's a fucking religion. How do you test?
Exactly.
They test for religion.
But you know, I mean, the idea of race is messed up as it is. It's not a thing. It's not real. But it lets you know how they operated from a supremacist perspective.
Right.
And that's the serious problem with these people. They're supremacists, and they look at the rest of us as cattle and chattel. And it's been going on for a long time. I mean, you go back to Jefferson and all the other guys; they were doing that shit. The thing is that we've been conditioned from when we were children to look up to these people as though they mean something. And personally, I've never had any respect for them. And I told you last week, the one people that are definitely my enemy are the very rich. And there's a reason for that, because this is what I suspected of them. And I'm very serious about this shit today because it is just abysmal. It is 3 million files. Some files got deleted because it revealed too much. And apparently Trump is mad with Bomney. Bomney, by the way, I think you mentioned it a few podcasts ago. She was in charge of getting Jeffrey Epstein his sweetheart deal. They got him off of, you know. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bomney was one of these people who was abused at one point. You know, so it's funny because in the 1970s, a lot of the horror films were about cults and rich people in cults, and it's proving to be true.
Right. I mean, even Rosemary's Baby, right?
And, exactly. And another pedo, you know,
right.
Roman Polanski,
right? And then also you had his pregnant wife dying, and then what's interesting is that Sharon Tate wanted to join him in France when he was filming this movie, and he wouldn't let her go. He was telling her to stay home. Like, it was almost like she was a ritual sacrifice, and he made sure that she didn't leave the house for months. You know, like, she had like a group of friends that hung out with her to keep her occupied and busy, but she wanted, and he was having multiple affairs, and she was aware of it, so she wanted to.
You can't even probably call them affairs. He's probably just multiply raping people.
Right. You know? And then after she died, right after her funeral, I mean, there was an orgy.
Yeah.
Like,
that's when he got the 16-year-old that he raped.
Right.
Or 15-year-old. Yeah.
Right. And then there was the police found, and this is all from the book Chaos that I had mentioned to you a few weeks back. Police files showing that there were tapes of Sharon Tate being raped by 2 black men, and it was being filmed by Roman Polanski in their home. And the police were thinking, oh, this is like, we don't know what to do with this. Instead of bringing him in as a suspect with this Manson murder, they just gave him the tapes. But everything was documented in police files and hidden up until 2012. And then this guy didn't release the book until a few years ago. He was kind of waiting for everyone to die. He had the research 20 years ago, like going back to the 90s. He was finding this stuff out. but didn't release it because if he did release it to the public, Manson would have walked.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would have been a mistrial. So they waited for Manson to die. The guy met Manson. Manson confirmed a lot of this stuff. And then these are all records from police stations that were just literally sitting in dust piles.
Well, I think
Manson was the Epstein of the 60s, you know?
Yeah, the key too is that Manson was tied to the MK Ultra.
Yep, that too. Yeah,
that's probably the reason it got covered up.
And those girls were all like on LSD 24/7. That's why they were so fucked up. But they were also being raped by celebrities. These were all underage girls that were being used for blackmail to blackmail celebrities that were funding the Black Power movement. You know, which was like, you know, the Black Panthers and other organizations. Like that's why they went after John Lennon, you know, because what were they sponsoring? A breakfast program. Right? It's like, let's get for real. What were the Black Panthers doing so wrong? It was a breakfast program. They opened up charter schools. They were doing hospitals and feeding their community. And, you know,
these cannibalistic pedophiles then tell us that, you know, socialism doesn't work. Of course they don't want it. They say that it's against freedom, their freedom to do what they want, because they wouldn't have the resources and the means to do what they want.
Right.
And it's very clear. Now, what we do as a society is up to all of us. Do we sit and accept it? And I really...
Yeah, I hope not. Well,
I hope not. But what are the other options, you know?
Right.
And those other options are the options that are very uncomfortable for all of us. It's the ones that we would not dare speak on this because it would get us in trouble. But it is disgusting. And there's so much coming out about Bill Clinton, about Trump. Peter Thiel is pretty much owned by the Rothschilds. There's so much dirt in there.
And they're the responsible for the whole partition of Palestine, right? Their ancestors.
The creation of Somaliland. That was planned by Epstein, like years and years before.
Right. It's like,
so there's a lot of stuff that we that needs to be brought to light. And yeah, like I've been digging through it. It's been really...
So did you start at the very first file, or did you?
No, I mean, I just been on X. People have been sharing like clips of stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
the heck is this? People like, hey, they deleted this, by the way.
Right.
Accusations of people being buried at Trump's properties.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, his property is allocated as a cemetery, and that's why he put his wife on the golf course, says you don't have to pay taxes if you have a relative or if your place is being used as a cemetery. Guess what? You're tax free. So like if I buried my mother in the backyard, which they'd probably be like, hey, you can't do that. It's like, but people do that all the time, right?
But then the question is, who else is he burying?
Right, exactly. Right. And if you look at the headstone of his wife, it's in appalling condition. It's not even upkept with the gardening or anything. It was like literally overgrown grass and shit over it. So it's not like he had any respect for his wife, you know?
No, he didn't. He used to punch her and beat the crap out of her.
Right. And she was testifying against him on the day she died. She was going to court to testify against him.
He mysteriously fell down the stairs, right?
Right. And then the bruise killed her. It's like, huh?
No, she was thrown down the stairs. Is probably what most likely happened.
Right.
But there are videos like that young woman back in 2009. And I remember it. And I made a mental note of it. She was in Mexico, and she came out of a party, and she's distraught, and she's yelling, they're eating human beings. They're disgusting. Those assassins are killing human beings and eating them. These people are beyond
redemption.
I'm going to sort of roll back because I don't want to go into a tirade that would make most medieval executioners cry, because these motherfuckers deserve some serious damage. But unfortunately, there's a lot of pigs who defend pedophiles, the ones who are in blue suits
and religious
and billy clubs You know, they basically uphold a pedophile system
Mm-hmm. You
that
do.
eats children.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem. That's who defends them. They're
Mm-hmm.
not there to defend us. We're just there to be tended to like a sheep or cattle,
Right.
and they're there to ensure that we remain as sheep and cattle, to keep feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I got plenty of examples. You know who else got nailed in this was French politicians, Spanish politicians. For example, Marie Le Pen was shown that she was being receiving money from not just Russian sources, but from Steve Bannon,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I was telling you before. This global Reich network
Mm-hmm.
is all encompassing and it needs to be pushed back on. We have to stop voting and this idea. Actually, voting's not going to solve shit at this point. We can't vote this shit out,
No.
you know.
Because who are they going to put in front of us? You know, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there's a lot of photos coming out saying that even Mandani's mother
She
was
was.
at these
She was
parties.
at the she was at a party at his New
You know.
York, Epstein's New York
Mm-hmm.
mansion. Now, whether she participated in any of that shit, I don't know if
That's
that shit was going on in
yeah.
his
They were
mansion,
promoting a film. Yeah. So
but she was probably as a producer trying to gain money for her film.
right. Right.
Unfortunately, that's how film works.
Yeah.
You end up with
Oh,
money.
it's everyone in Hollywood that's caught up in that. You know, like
Yeah.
not everyone participates, but a lot of them are either aware of it or just
And you have to look the other way.
look the other way.
Yeah.
I would say the fine art world too. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
lot of that.
And the comics world works in a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who gets promoted are the like minds. We have to start understanding that the system that we live in is brought to us in such a way
Mm-hmm.
that the monsters at the top promote those who are similar in their thinking and promote their thinking. If you
Yep.
go counter to their thinking, they're going to make sure you never rise because they are trying to ensure their power by
Yes.
all means.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, it's really some sick shit, man. The eating, I always assumed that they were doing this shit, but it's different knowing
Right.
that that's what they were doing. It was Bush Sr.
Well,
Apparently,
it's
his
not even a conspiracy theory anymore. It's in black and white.
fact.
But people will always say it's a conspiracy. You're a conspiracy theorist. It's like,
Well, you know what? Till their kid goes missing.
right. Yeah.
You know, till their kid goes missing, they end up on a fucking milk carton box.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
we're both the same age. When we were young, that was the thing. You had it on the back of comic books, you had it on milk cartons, kids that went fucking missing. And the only conclusion is either it's a rampant
And
fucking
many of them
like
weren't found either. You know, we never.
never found. Now you're talking easily, they were saying 10,000 kids, which I'm sure it's more than that. It's a global network of this shit.
Well, I mean, look at that Canadian orphanage of Native Indians, right? They said
Mhm.
500 plus children buried. So this has been going on forever.
Yep. Yep. But it was cool when it was black and brown, right?
Right.
But there are apparently snuff films.
Oh, yeah.
There's snuff films where they get people to fight each other,
Right.
kill each other. Some people have survived and talked about it and how they also reference cannibalism that happened afterwards.
Which is interesting because even that pedophile, what's his name, Ed Piskor, who committed suicide supposedly, you know, about after being exposed as being a pedophile, his last comic book was called The Red Room, and it was about exactly that, about snuff films, the dark web, all that. And I remember reading, I don't know if you've read it, but I remember reading it. This was like during the pandemic, it came out, and I was just like, this shit is almost autobiographical with the detail that he wrote it. Like it was almost like it left a chill in your body. Like it was, and I love horror movies growing up. I could watch almost anything, but this was like when I was reading it, it seemed like almost like something that he personally experienced. And I'm not saying it was good, that it was that well written, like as a critique. I'm saying it was horrific, and being a person, I guess since we're like tied to the native lands and stuff, you kind of get a a sixth sense about the person. So even before that Twitter stuff came out, I was like, this guy's not a good person. You know?
Yeah. There's a long history of it, even here during the medieval period in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
The human hunting parties,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And so many
it's
movies about that too. Even during the lockdown, there were more movies like that coming out. You know.
quite frankly, that's why I'm not a monarchist. That's why I'm not fascist or capitalist or any of that shit, because
Yeah.
it all supplies us as food.
Right.
And
Literally.
it's about time, as my grandfather used to say, it's not funny when the rabbit gets a gun. You know what I'm saying? Is he's a son. These are some depraved motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
Depraved.
And they've been telling us through their entertainment, through the literature. I
Mhm,
mean, even Trump was talking about a Hunger Games, performing a
mhm.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, I think we should have it.
Yeah.
Guess who's
With his
gonna
ass
do
in
it?
there.
It's gonna be them.
Right. Exactly. That'll be
But
our French Revolution, right? Putting them
yeah,
into
well, because these are some all of our children, all of our children are basically at danger with these shit assholes.
Mhm.
And they sit there with their nice pristine suits and slick back hair and
Mhm.
preach us Jesus and preach us this and that. And meanwhile, they're the biggest deviants,
Mhm.
the biggest deviants. And sadly, good people fall for this shit
Mhm.
and put on the red hats or
Mhm.
whatever stuff. That shit's got to go.
Right.
That shit's got to go, man. And I know I'm more serious today than I am in previous podcasts.
Mhm.
But seeing this shit it's raised my temperature.
Mhm.
It's raised my temperature. Uh, but it's also added to a lot of the shit that I always thought. The global network of right wingers are
Right.
all bought and paid for.
All of it.
Everybody looking to,
Mhm.
they ain't gonna do shit because they're all
They're not doing it.
screwing and
They're
eating
all a part.
kids.
Yeah, they're all part of it.
They're all part of it. Yeah, you
Mhm.
know. Uh, guess who was mentioned? Mentioned doesn't mean much. Henry Levin of TMZ.
Oh, really?
There was an email. I don't know who it was between who and Epstein. Oh, I'll make sure that Henry Levin puts the story. He's a good friend of mine.
Hmm.
And I think it's hilarious that Henry Levin, who made his life and his bread and butter from trashing people,
Hmm.
is possibly going to be trashed himself too. I think that's poetic justice. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of stuff. I could actually pass you some of these if you want to look at some of these because I
Yeah.
actually downloaded some of them. Which one's better?
Yeah.
This
I
one?
sent you a few too that was talking about Donald Trump. But you know what's interesting is like even MSNBC talked about this whole 13-year-old and 12-year-old boy and girl that Trump had raped with Epstein before his first presidency when he was running for president. And they only ran that story one time. Then everyone started pivoting towards Stormy Daniels. But
Yeah, because it's an adult.
right, and the thing is, he had paid them off. He paid off. I think there was 9 pedophilia cases that he had total that he paid off before he became president while he was running. But everyone's focused on Stormy Daniels, not these kids and not the Epstein stuff. And it just shocks me that people that I know personally are like, "Oh, he's not in the Epstein files." And it's like, what? It's like we're like, "Oh, you're just listening to liberal news. That's a lie." It's like, what? It's like
No, it's there. It's in the Justice
these are
Department.
court cases. These are not. Who gives a shit what the media is saying?
Well, they're fucking good little peasants. That's what they are.
Right. These are like when you have a court case. This is like public knowledge. Like you could look up these cases. They're not hidden. They're not secret. You could literally look up the case number and read it. It's like this is just information that you could literally like Google and find with very little.
In the Justice Department, actually, I could send you this one.
Mhm.
I'll find it. It is really disturbing, but I'll send it to you. And If you want to, you can put it up on the screen. It's on Instagram. I sent it to your Instagram, Wise. Anyone who thinks it's liberal conservative is a fool. We've gotten to the point that it's no longer that. It's always been about rich and poor. And if you want to keep servicing the rich, then you're in the way.
Right.
You know, you can either fucking move out of the way and shut the fuck up, but these people, left or right, if they're at the top, they're fucking cannibalizing us.
Yes. Which video is that? The one with the Asian
No,
lady?
it's a screen cap. It's actually a screen capture of the actual. It's highlighted. It's at the very bottom. It's the one I just sent you. Instagram.
On Instagram? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know,
I'm looking at it on my computer.
Usually I'm full of like little cribs and shit, but I'm not today. I am thoroughly this.
It's hard to
this shit can't be joked out of either.
And you know, the thing is, I remember being a young man listening to this guy. I worked with this guy who was still older than me. He was in his 60s. I remember he drove me home and sat me in the car. He was an educator, but he was talking to me about he was also a prison employee, and he was talking about how his father was a doctor and that the government knew about AIDS in 1975, and then going back even into the 60s, that people were dying of it, but they refused to classify it as a virus or disease. They just wanted to keep spreading out and it just like, and he told me all this conspiracy stuff that since then has been surfaced, you know, as fact.
Well, they want to, what does a herdsman do with cattle?
Yeah.
Right? You thin the herd every so often.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that's what they want to do.
Or as Israel calls it, mowing the lawn, right? With the Palestinians.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know,
it's
that's the whole purpose of war.
That's the whole purpose. And I think this sort of like, oh, it's liberal. No, I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
You know.
Let me see if I can refresh it, because I'm just like
freaking like cannibalistic.
That is weird.
To the nth degree.
I could see your post here, but then I'm looking here on Instagram.
Okay, let me tell you what. Let me just send a messenger. It's probably easier.
Let's see. Yeah, it's oh, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, it's graphic.
There we go. It's just like, but I thought that was weird. It's like it's on my phone, but it's not on my computer. I'm like, that's it is so weird.
These are some evil sons of a bitches.
There we go. Can we see that?
And by the way, with Chomsky,
right?
Epstein was talking about IQ race shit.
Right. Let's see if we can zoom that in. Let's see. All right. You want to read that for us?
Yeah. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's, you can read that, and the other, by entering a finger and rated the children on tightness. The guests were elder men, and included Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump.
Sounds like slave auctions, right?
Yeah, it does. So anyone that thinks that shit, that these people mysteriously at some point stop being the fucking perverts that Jefferson and the rest of them were, the only way they're going to stop is we're going to have to stop them, and it's not going to be legally. That's all I can say. I'll leave it there. But I don't know if we've got the balls and the guts and the steel to do it.
These are things that we're doing during the times of slavery, of buck breaking the men and raping men, and they don't tell you that, and they don't show you that. Those Gone with the Wind movies of them raping men, you know, and raping the women and dividing them and terrorizing them too. And then this is shit that's going on in Palestine and the Israel. This is what we did to the Iraqis and
well, what they're doing to them in prisons.
Abu Ghraib in the prisons, yeah. It's you know, torturing them, raping them, putting feces on them. This is like, you go back to like lynching, right? Lynching is postcards being sold as postcards, and
It's like a ritual.
It's a ritual. It's a
It's a ritual.
tradition. It's a tradition for them
But
that
it's almost like a. It's funny that they call themselves Christian.
right,
But when they kill a black person, it's almost like when you read about sacrificing a human being.
right.
It's some sort of demonic entity. I'm not into believing in any of that, but
But some
the
people
setup, the mindset is that of a religious experience.
right.
And then they sit there and preach about Jesus. These are some of the most demonic people out there, if you believe in demonic. I believe they're nihilists. I believe they're so empty, they cannot get any emotions. They have to do things to try to feel human,
Right.
But for those who are Christian out there, yeah, this is some demonic shit.
Yeah. I mean, what's next? You're gonna find out that they're really lizards.
Hmm. That if they weren't the same species as us and there was some sort of aliens, I'd be like, all right, I guess I have to swallow that one and go, they weren't us. But as far as it goes,
I mean, they
these motherfuckers are human.
they used to say that that the king, the queen of England was like there's something else, and then you find out that they're actually related to Count Dracula.
Well, they're all related.
Yeah,
All of them are related. All of
yeah,
them. All of them are fucking related. That's why when I hear, well, Europe and tribalism, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
right,
The people's running Europe have always been interbred with each other.
right,
Louis the 14th was part Spanish.
right,
The Romanovs in Russia were related to Queen Elizabeth. So it's always been, they've always been fucking related to each other. Anyone
right,
thinking that is like not knowing their history, you
right.
know. And Prince Andrew's really fucked in this latest release.
These guys are not going to see a prison cell. That's just the fucking
No,
hard
no,
truth
they're
of
not.
it. They're not
No,
going to
they're
see.
not.
They're not going to see a prison cell. Unfortunately, it's like
No, they're not.
you know.
Personally, I think they shouldn't even see a prison cell.
Well, yeah, to be honest, yeah, exactly, exactly. And this is more files here that I had sent you. I don't know which page goes first. I don't know if I think I did this in reverse.
It looks like the cryptocurrencies are also compromised too.
No, yeah. Well, that's where a lot of the money is.
Yeah. I always thought it was some sort of
Money
weird.
laundering. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was some sort of weird scam.
right. And this is an email they blocked from and who. It's an interview purported by Epstein victim. Subject interview of purported Epstein victim. Thanks, blank. I didn't realize Bush raped him too. I'd like to add few other points disclosed by the purported victim. While on this yacht, he witnessed African American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of the type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar but left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces. From these intestines, he was also raped by George Bush. One victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who was the creator of True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as conspiracy-driven news websites that attempt to paint the FBI in a bad light. Moore is a criminal record as a result of the FBI investigation. Now, this is not the Michael Moore.
I don't think so.
I think it's a different Michael Moore, right? True.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me know if you want to discuss the FBI. Let me see. True Pundit. Let's see. That would be even more crazy.
Well, I guess it would. At this point, it's like it's all these motherfuckers.
All right.
Every single last.
Well, this is what Baldwin was saying on his TikTok, and ex Alec Baldwin's brother, Bo, was it Bo? No, the other one. There's so many of them. The youngest one.
Was it the born again Christian one? Because
yeah, he was like, it's not some of them, it's all of them.
I sent you something else too. Some of the pictures of Prince Andrew that they released over at Instagram. Yeah, these are some serious shit. What's wild too is that
Oh no, it is that Michael Moore.
it is that Michael Moore. Well, there you go. Well, he's always trying to get us to vote Democrat, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Chomsky went down. Jay-Z's implied, not implied. He's in it. One of the complaints was a young woman who was drugged, woke up with Harvey Weinstein
Right.
and Jay-Z naked in the same bed with her.
Oh God. There we go. Blank reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump, approximately 35 years old, in New Jersey. Trump was 35. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 or 14 years old when this occurred. And the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face as she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. The response spoke with caller who identified blank as friend. Lead was sent to Washington office to conduct blank. Blank reported she has a friend who was personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 91. This friend shared names of some of the guests Epstein's parties include Bill Clinton, Donald Trump. At age 16, while modeling, called, attended 8 parties while Epstein, a New York resident, on the occasion called, reported she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured caller and her friend upstairs, but escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend and third brother. Ty raped 14-year-old girl named blank. Caller name individuals in big orgy parties with her, other younger girls, older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complaint reported she was a victim, witnessed a sex trafficking ring, Trump golf course, Rancho Paladés, CA, 1995. So yeah, I don't understand why these people keep saying Trump's not in the files. That motherfucker, he's here.
Oh, he's like
everywhere.
I think it's like 300,000 times he's on the files, something insane.
Right. And I remember in the 90s as well that in the news talked about a sex ring of underage girls dealing with all the top fashion designers and orgy parties and stuff. That was on ABC News when I was in high school. I remember them saying that. And I was like, oh, the supermodel, Cindy Crawford, all that stuff. And then it was hushed up after a while, but that was like something that hit the news. So this stuff has been going on since we were children and before we were born, you know.
Way before.
You know.
And it looks like everything was a blackmail ring.
Yeah.
Because the big one is, I'm going to share this with you.
Yeah. Donald Trump.
Because you might, I think I mentioned it, but I'm not sure if you got it.
Right.
The big one is that Trump is compromised.
Right.
He's compromised by Israel.
Yeah, yeah. So this is like a way of blackmailing a lot of people, keeping them under control. And actually, I don't know if you saw it, but even the news didn't even drop this, but there was photos from the first drop of Epstein files. Nobody talked about this. But, you know, our fearless Democratic leader, Schumer, was actually, there was a photo of him in the 80s kissing a black child, infant child, like elementary school age, like kindergarten, first grade, full on the lips on Epstein Island. Nobody.
He is actually, he came up again. He's on the files too.
You know,
came up in this batch again. And
this is why these guys are just being, this is exactly why we're heading in this direction. This is why you don't see Democrats opposing.
Yeah,
it's killing people.
That's why there's no voting out of this. There's only one option.
Right.
One that I won't say because it'll get our channel.
No, we won't.
We won't say that.
It's on everyone's mind. It's on the tip of your tongue, but we're not here to force feed you.
Nope. We're not.
You want me to play that picture of that woman? The video of the woman screaming.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I do remember this video. I thought it was another one. It might be exactly the same one, but I remember years ago, like in the beginning of the internet, that this was, you know, like
2009. This is when this came out.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say beginning of the internet. The internet's been around forever. But yeah, early internet, because it wasn't really mainstream. I think in 2009, I've been on the net since the 90s.
Me too.
Since Rodney King is when I first learned about the internet and reading documents. But there was nothing really glamorous about the internet. It was just a lot of reading shit. If you want to, it was like
I,
it's
s-
just reading.
I still remember when you could literally go get a cup of coffee and let the web page download.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah, it takes
downloading. I'll wait.
forever. You're like,
And now it's like, boom, it's there,
that
right?
is so true. That is so true. Yeah.
So,
All right, what is this? What are we looking at? Is that Batman? Yeah, let's play this video. It's like, oh, it's good. Yeah, we're up there, dude. We're up there.
oh, we are, and it's like this. This is starting to be the real show.
Hold on. It's
Anyone
doing
who
it
sits,
again. Hold on.
go-
I think it jumped too. It jumped again. I gotta cue it back.
interesting.
I shared it on Facebook, but then Facebook links it to somewhere else. So whoops.
Hmm. Yeah, but this is the real show. This is the real deal. We're headed.
Yeah, go ahead.
And there's no getting around this because now the rest of the world knows. So we look at it from the context of inside the country. But
Right.
the rest of the world now is looking at this shit going, wait a second. We
Right.
thought you were insert friends, right? Like
Right.
from the TV show. That's what America is. And now they're seeing it's a horror movie.
Yep, exactly.
I'll let you put this on.
¡Están locos! ¡Mataron a mucha gente! ¡Muere esa carne de humano! ¡Lárgate! ¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos!
In August of 2009, in the bustling Mexican city of Monterrey, an unexpected and unsettling scene was broadcast live on local TV. A young woman, barefoot and disheveled, stood outside a luxury hotel, frantically yelling at the cameras, the police, and anyone who would listen. Her name was Gabriela Rico Jimenez. At least that's what the reports claimed. And what she shouted that day would spark rumors, conspiracies, and a mystery that, over a decade later, remains unsolved. She screamed about cannibalism, secret underground tunnels, and satanic rituals. And then, just as quickly as she appeared, she was gone. The full video will be in the comments.
So yeah, that's pretty heavy duty,
Yeah, and they were trying to say that she was mentally disturbed. Well,
Yeah.
if she saw what she saw, yes, she's going to be.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think that
I'd
she
be
was-
disturbed too if I saw someone eating a freaking.
Yeah, I think she was speaking the truth. She wasn't crazy.
No. She seemed pretty, but they were trying to dismiss it as someone that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, even the guy who, what's his name, the Ukrainian guy, he put this lady who was a Satanist in charge of the orphanages in Ukraine. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, Ukraine's getting pummeled on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many of us have attached our identities to these people who
Mhm.
want nothing to do with us. And it's best that we detach ourselves from that identity they've imposed on us
Mhm.
and realize they're not us.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, no, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of dirt and a lot of shit. Guess who got nailed in this round? Bill Gates.
Oh yeah, he's diabolical. We know, with
Oh, but listen to
bringing
this.
malaria to America.
Talking about diseases.
Yeah.
He had an exchange with Jeffrey Epstein asking for antibiotics because apparently Mr. Health didn't wear a condom to keep himself from getting STDs from some Russian hookers Epstein had hooked him up with.
Jesus.
So he didn't want Melinda to find out that he had STDs, and he was trying to get antibiotics to slip it into her drink.
Yeah, it's totally crazy.
Yeah. Another creep.
Another creep. And it's like all your heroes. You got Bill Cosby, who was like a giant, and then gets caught up with all that stuff, and then
Well, we have to keep in mind these people, the system treats these people as products.
yeah.
They are entertainers. They
Mhm.
learn how to make a whole new persona to
Mhm.
entertain us. but that persona is not them.
No.
You know, um,
Yeah, it's like, we're talking about, having a lot of these guys, a lot of our politicians take acting courses, and it's like you don't know the real deal. You're being duped. We're living in a live stream film, right? It's like
mhm.
if you really
Yeah.
think about it, the news, it's all,
And their power comes from us believing them.
right.
As soon as we say, I don't believe fucking jack shit that you're telling me, that's
Right.
when we take about a quarter of our agency back. When we say, fuck that, I don't believe shit you're telling me. You're killing some kids, you're doing some shit, and you're going to do some shit to enrich yourself. As soon as we start to take that attitude, they're going to have to work extra hard. That's, I think, the beginning of the revolution in our minds. Because
Right.
right now, oh, well, such and such said this and such said that. But guess what? These files were sitting there. All these presidents, Democrat, Republican, all of them knew.
They all knew. There's no secret.
So by them not releasing the shit to us,
Mhm.
that means that they're also implicit.
And they had these symbolic parties too, like this thing here, like this thing where you see this. They're
Yeah.
saying this is a cake or something, but it looks like that looks like a real person. That doesn't look like a cake. I mean, I don't know. It's like,
Well, there are those. I don't know if you've ever seen that they make cakes that look like other shit.
yeah.
So it's possible it's that, but who the fuck would want to eat a person?
Yeah, right. Why would you want this shit? I mean, let's
You
play.
know, and it
Y'all
could be a
seen
real
this
person.
new viral sculpture,
Right.
but it's a life-size chocolate man.
Chocolate.
I want y'all to look at these pictures because they're super disturbing, but it's a sculpture.
If you look at the face, it looks like it was casted from a real person.
Y'all
The
know
face would be
anything
body
about
cast.
Marina Abramovich?
Yep.
I'm about to show y'all the comparison between this sculpture and the one that she made. Like, do y'all see how realistic it looks?
Look at the head.
Sculpture? This is not art. This is not an art show. This is spirit cooking. Look it up. Back in 2013, Marina Abramovich had this art party. And she had a lot of disturbing art. One of them being this woman. Now, doesn't it look like she's covered in you know what? And look at them. They are literally eating her. How would that look appetizing to you? It only look appetizing to you if you eat humans, aka they do. I don't know if y'all seen this new viral.
He's like,
Well, we know they do now.
yeah, they do. Yeah, it's like,
It's in that whole thing, and I think one of Jeffrey Epstein's profile names
How can you?
right.
or something to do with his banking was Baal, Baal, which is the storm god.
Oh yeah, Baal, yeah, Baal, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That says it all there. And his
Says it all
account's
there.
still active. It's never been, for someone who's been dead for all these years, his account's still active.
I don't think he's dead.
Transactions. Well, that's what Iran was saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead.
That's why they bombed the Iranian news station, with the United States, with their proxy partner, bombed Iran after they showed drone footage of him alive and well. And I remember even before that, there was footage from the Bahamas that someone had filmed and say, hey, this guy looks like Jeffrey Epstein. And he was like, he noticed he was on camera and then gets off, like wanders off. But
I think we're all being had.
oh yeah,
I think we all got to start getting really seriously skeptical. We got to
Yeah.
drop the left and right nonsense.
yep. It's
Start
all,
to realize that these people, there's rich and poor,
yep. That's it.
and
You got to
these
break the
people can't
division.
be trusted. Past a certain income, it's like you're all suspect. You're
Mhm.
done. Because just look at the Epstein files. When you think, oh, it's going to be left, it's going to be right. And it's funny because the right is very quiet. So I don't even consider the Democrats left. They're center. The center is also trying to spin it that it's
I call it
Russia.
the right and the extreme right. I don't think there's the only left party that's
I
left
agree.
is part of the Green Party.
I agree. And that's,
I think Kamala Harris proved that the Democrats shifted right.
I think
By
that was from the
appealing to
very
white
beginning.
Republican females. Like what? It's like, what are you doing?
there needs to be a lot of change, not just in the United States, around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here's the problem. These idiots have put themselves in a position now through all their perversion and all the degeneracy that if we attack Iran for Israel, because it's not going to be for us, there's no real reason for us,
Mm-hmm.
our economy's gone. But guess what?
But that's the
Israel's
point.
going to be gone too.
The point is to bankrupt the United States.
Well, good luck if they do, because that means all the protections that they've had, other countries are not going to give them those protections.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like there's several different types of parasites. There's a smart parasite that
Mm-hmm.
links on with you, keeps the host alive.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stupid parasite that kills the host and kills itself with it.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the latter. They're a stupid parasite.
Oh yeah, they're ready to put their finger on the button if they lose control, you know. Which, you know, Netanyahu, you know, Bibi,
He's mentioning it.
he's mentioned that he would do what they call the Samson protocol or something, where he would basically blow up Israel if he felt that they were losing. Like, what? You would kill your own people?
Yep. Well,
The Samson option, like, you know, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, he's going to enact the Samson option if they fight Iran.
yeah,
Iran is not Iraq.
Right.
Iran is said to have gotten 300 hypersonic missiles from Russia.
right.
I don't know if you know this or if the viewers know this, but one of our aircraft carriers had to do an extreme U-turn to avoid a Yemeni missile. Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
This is not hypersonics. Hypersonics, literally, the Navy's been saying they get 2 to 3 seconds warning and then they're hit. You can't do shit against that. So if we get in a fight with them and shit goes down hard, not only are they going to take out our military, but they're also going to take out Israel, which is a tiny speck. This is suicide, and it's driven by madmen who eat fucking children.
Right.
You know,
I mean, well, you think about it, they ate slaves. Their
they
ancestors
did.
ate
There's
slaves.
a book called The Delectable Meat.
I mean, a lot of those lynchings, there were barbecues.
Mhm.
That wasn't that long ago. Talking about the 1940s, 1950s.
They used to make belts. They used to make shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Black people. So yeah, none of this is new. The problem is that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not even high functioning psychopaths anymore. This is
like inbred shit, inbred thinking, you know, like
yeah. And
yeah.
I think they've dulled all of us into thinking that they're just like one of us. The hell they are.
The world is a crazy place. I mean, on a spiritual side, I mean, you think about what this is doing to people mentally, you know, and I was having a conversation with someone who was a schizophrenic, admitted schizophrenic. They're being diagnosed, and the more I talked about like their hallucinations and stuff, and I was just like, did the hallucinations that you saw happen before or after the medication? And they thought about it and they're like, after. And I was like, but you felt stuff, you sensed stuff, you know, you had this disturbing feeling. Like, I was just like, we're ancient cultures, you know, we're like, before Christianity, before colonialism, we had spiritual leaders, people that can interpret things. And that doesn't go away. We're connected to the earth, native people, right? You're all, and we're sensitive to the earth. So if something's wrong, our body is going to scream it, right? And what if schizophrenia is like, maybe it's like a young shaman, right? You know, like what we would call shamanism, the person that gets the messages from the spirit world, passes it to the elders, and the elders pass it to the people like the natives did. But we treat it with fucking medication, and then it screws up their wires and they start hallucinating and seeing shit. And maybe I was telling him, I was like, maybe that's not the imagination. Maybe your eyes are widening like a deer and you see your cones are expanding under these drugs and you're seeing shit that the normal average person can't see that's really is there.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do they see? A lot of schizophrenics say they see shadow figures or creatures with multiple eyes just out of nowhere. It's almost like they live with the glasses. Maybe those medications are making
Well,
them.
it's interesting you bring it up because many shaman, medicine people, whatever you want to call them, do say that people who are schizophrenic are kind of caught in between two states.
Two worlds, yeah.
Into two worlds. So they have their own ceremonies to try to get them back into one state.
Right.
But let's be honest. This is something that's probably going to piss a lot of people off, but the capitalist system dehumanizes us into products.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take away any sort of level of that your spirit and that you are worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
You are just an object that's tradable, that gives services.
Mm-hmm.
Once you finish your use, you're to basically be discarded and disposable.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a human system, but it is a system that unfortunately is the dominant one. A lot of people try to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can call yourself spiritual, Christian, whatever it is, it's belief system you have, and think that this system is normal and natural.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand. Most of my religious family members that are Republican, they're on board with this, which we talked about. They think it's okay to genocide a bunch of children. They talk about the Bible says this and the Bible says that. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you're a Christian. So I was like, when Jesus supposedly died for your sins.
But see, they go to the Old
Doesn't that mean like you don't read the old book anymore and you just go towards the new book? It's the New Testament, right?
Yeah, because he was supposed to be the new Adam.
Right. He's the new Adam, right? Metaphorically, right? And let's get it straight. Christ didn't found the Christian church. It's like he was dead. It's
yeah, that was founded by Paul.
By Paul, who was a Christian killer, right? The guy was like killing Christians, and then he's the one that founded the church. So it's like the fucking villain of the story. He's like, I've been redeemed. It's like,
yep. And it's sad because I've been giving a lot of thought the word, and I know I beat up on conservatives all the time. But what does the word conservative mean?
Mm-hmm.
Means to conserve.
Mm-hmm.
What are you conserving?
Mm-hmm.
The status quo. That means you're fine with the shit system.
Right.
So then you can then take it further and say you're subservient to the system. In other words, don't stand up. Let them piss on you. It's okay, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of that. I understand that most people think conservative, family values, but look at the people who are telling us family values.
Right.
They're out there raping kids, eating them. Like, what the hell? What the hell? I don't care if they're whatever. Bono is actually implicated in all this shit too.
Bono from U2.
Yeah.
My childhood dream is broken.
Bono from U2, man. There's a lot of these people, and
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, it's insane.
Right.
It's insane. Like I sent you some pictures of Prince Andrew.
Yeah, I was looking for that. Just
it's on Instagram.
Let's see. Instagram.
There's a very famous Native American by the name of John Trudell. He was in the movie Thunderheart.
Right.
And he said, and I love this, he said, guard your spirit because you're in the place where spirits get eaten. I'm not religious in any sort of way, but I do see myself as a very spiritual person.
Right.
I don't adhere to any religious organization because it's an organization. I think that's not your journey. Our journey is not to be done in such a way that it can be turned into fucking McDonald's.
Right.
You know, I show up, I get my spiritual hamburger and fries, and then I get the fuck off. No, it's something that's with you your entire time in your life.
Right, exactly.
I guess you could say I'm a spirit. When it comes to spirituality, I'm an anarchist.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah, no, I don't need to get that shit from you. There might be some wisdom.
I don't need an organization to give me a fulfillment.
Me too. Me too.
You know, it's just like the military. My father forced me and my brother to go into
Cadets.
the cadets, and years of that shit. I was like, damn, I get yelled at home, and I got to get yelled at when I go to this thing, and it's screaming. You're marching, and you're in these uncomfortable shoes, wearing this stupid hat, and it's like, go ahead, take a look at this.
It's Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew, and then this is the young girl. You can see that there's no definition on that body. It's
A kid.
it's definitely a child. No
It's
mistake.
baby.
Yeah, like a 9 or 10-year-old or younger. I mean,
it's just nasty.
horrific. And then what do we have over here?
And this is the stuff they're giving us.
Right. This is right. So imagine the shit that they're not showing us.
Yeah. The baby eating.
Right, the baby eating.
The baby eating. That's the shit that they're not giving us.
Oh my god.
You know, like, who thought that Squid Games, well, I actually thought it was an actual reality.
Oh, again, another show that I always felt eerie watching. Like, I'm just like, I don't see this as entertainment, you know?
No, it lets us know.
Right.
Yeah.
Something is a little too close to reality, right? It just,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like,
So that one file you were looking at, that's the file of the FBI agent saying that,
Right.
the big one, the 2-page one,
right.
it was saying that it was an FBI agent that filed an actual report to the FBI stating that Trump was compromised, that Alan Dershowitz supposedly is tied to Israel, a Mossad agent, and that Trump is not running the presidency. This was in the first term, but that actually Jared Kushner is.
Huh. His son-in-law.
Yeah. He's the shadow president.
Wild.
So it came out. It was right there. It was reported. Not Putin. Not that I'm a fan of Putin. I don't care.
Right.
But the elephant in the room that neither Republican nor Democrat want to talk about is Israel, because they're both owned by him.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at our history with, you know, the Rothschilds. I mean, we're a colony ourselves, right? And, you know, that whole business of just screwing the Arabs out of their independence, Britain, and then the Rothschild signing that Balfour Declaration. I mean, even before the Balfour Declaration, you already had people immigrating over there. They were, you know, and then you had the whole thing with the coin, with the Nazis and the Zionists working together.
The pact.
Yeah, the pact, right?
The
and
pact.
To get them to move to Palestine.
They thought that by causing high body counts and pumping up the hatred, it would push Jewish people to move to Israel. It's a lot more complicated than what they've told us.
It's diabolical.
It is, and it's treasonous to their own people. That's the thing. It's treasonous to their own people. They don't. I mean, that's why I say it's nihilistic. They believe in nothing.
Right.
If you're able to do that to your own people, you're not even loyal to your own people. There's just something. There's like a black hole inside of you that's just sucking everything in. And these people are not happy. I mean, like, look at most of these people who are at the very top. They have to do more drugs. They have to do all this. When have you ever seen any well-adjusted rich person? When is it enough for them?
Never.
Never.
It's never enough for them. They're it's bizarre. I was going to play this one here. I don't know if you saw this one. Let me get the.
What got me to this position to run this bill?
Hold on.
Everyone's
Cannibalism.
everyone's out here.
Cannibalism might seem kind of gruesome It kind of is. I'm going to give you a little background of what got me to this position to run this bill. Back in 2019, I heard that Washington State was starting to do human composting, and that disturbed me. I wanted to address this because what I didn't want to see is bags of compost with human bone fragments. I want to stop it getting into the human food supply. I was on a plane this summer, watched a video of some food show, and the three contestants tasted the food and they had to guess what was in it. It was some kind of a sausage. And one of the options they told these people that was in the food was human flesh.
Can you tell us the 3 secret ingredients that might be found in this amazing sausage that you made for us today?
The 3 secret ingredients that might be found in the sausage are fish liver, human flesh, or shark.
Cannibalism might seem kind of gruesome and kind of.
Yeah.
Actually, the human composting, there's a long history of that.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, after a lot of wars here in Europe, they would actually use the dead soldiers to fertilize fields. And so they discovered guano. And we almost had a whole world war over guano, which is bird shit, a huge bird shit island down in North America. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so there's a long history of that.
Crazy Town is no shortage.
Everyone's out here.
Of visiting.
Everyone,
you know.
Yeah.
No shortage. No shortage of.
It's insane. It's insane. Like reading this stuff because I'm going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Reading email after email. It's really wild how you still have people saying Trump is not in the files.
Right.
Like, did you go look?
I mean, first of all, which doesn't make any fucking sense, which just goes to show you, they said reading, right? The riff, right? It's like the mind is a terrible thing to waste, right? It's like.
But here's the thing.
We heard of Epstein from the beginning. Trump was already implicated from the beginning.
Yep. And here's the thing. Is Trump more important to you than your Jesus? Because Jesus said, I am the truth and I am the way.
Right.
So is the truth more important, less important to you than a false idol? Because it says in the Old Testament,
right,
do not follow men, because ultimately they will not save you, because when they die, their ideas and their ways die with them.
Yeah.
So it comes down to this. And they should know, born again Christianity, anyone who's born again should know that the Antichrist will come and supposed to be a person who is, I find it really hard to say this of Trump, but someone who is charming, someone who's going to bring peace. And what does he call himself? The peace president.
Peace president. Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Yeah. So
that's the piece that people are confusing him with. He's thinking like peace, but he's really like a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
piece of shit.
Now he wants to invade Cuba. I think all of this has been put on hold though, because I think they were supposed to attack Iran this weekend. But when those files drop, man, holy shit.
Yeah.
Everything got
a lot of people are going to step down. We're not going to have a Congress or a House of Representatives or a Senate.
And if they don't step down, that means it's on us.
Right, to push them out.
To push them out. We got to push them out. This can't stand. People have been losing their children. I don't give a flying shit about Democrat or Republican.
Mm-hmm.
People have been losing their children. And all these ICE raids, you mark my words, these kids that are disappearing in those ICE detention centers are probably going to end up on someone's fucking table.
Yeah.
And that is also on us.
Yeah. I could tell you when I worked in the upstate prison here and they were separating kids from their parents, they were calling it's like the bullshit was out of control. It was mostly white folks living upstate, you know. This is like in Lincolntown, New York. And they're like, well, it's the pathway to citizenship. We're going to put them into foster care. But there was a lot of abuse happening in this place. Nobody did shit. Everyone ignored it. And some of these kids, when they got into the foster parents, they ran away. Then they're considered fugitives. Now, the flip side is if you don't get a foster family, guess what? You go to prison at the age of 18 because you illegally entered the country. So, yeah, it's a pathway to citizenship if you get linked up with a family. But if you don't, you're going to jail and then you serve a sentence and you're just sitting there for years. They're just waiting for you to age out. Now, the thing is, the older kids didn't get they didn't get the links, but the younger ones were. And some of these young ones were running away because they were saying that they were being molested. So they're like, so who are these foster families that we're giving these people to? But again, it was so normalized, like, oh, you know, it's just like this, it's like the white bullshit. You see, like the Jewish, the Italians, the Irish. When you start asking,
all European, man,
they're just like, and they just start making shit up, like inventing, like without verification, they just invent in the thin air, like, oh, it's because of this. It's because of this. It must be because of that. It's like,
that's why I'm like, whenever Russia is brought up or China, I'm like, all right, they might or may not have anything to do with it.
Right.
Because this is a deflection tool that narcissists always do.
Right.
They don't want to say, yeah, it was fucking us. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we do some shit. The moment they do that, I'd be like, okay, now we can sit down and we can all solve the problems together. But the fact that they try to find the Russian boogeyman, the Chinese boogeyman, but they avoid the reality of this, the way this hemisphere has been forged for fucking 500 years, possibly even more, is why I don't cut them slack on the other two. Because I know as soon as you entertain that, all the other shit that you're talking about is going to be forgotten, ditched. They don't, you know, they could have stopped all the shit with how black people were being treated, how brown people were being treated. We wouldn't be here.
Right, exactly.
You know, after the Civil War, if a lot of these plantation owners were taken and fucking hung and beaten like piñatas with fucking like spiked baseball bats, we wouldn't be here, at least not halfway. Then we would have to go to the north. To
those families were compensated for God knows how long. I mean, in England, they were saying that the people's taxes was being used paying back these families for loss of slaves all the way up into 2006 when the bill was finished off. So if that was happening in England, I'm sure it was happening in the United States.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the rich families in the north, they got away with a lot of shit, too.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, and this goes out to the ones who are people who immigrated in the 20th century. You got a lot of Europeans who immigrated in the 20th century, walked into a room where an argument was happening, and they decided by the color of their skin, they went, and because of wealth, they gravitated over to the rich white people and took their argument without knowing fuck all of what was going on in the room before they came in.
Right, right.
Oh, I'm going to go with them. Why? Oh, I'm white. Mm. Oh, and now they're eating you too.
Right.
Now they're eating you too. You're going to come fucking cry to me now.
Right.
You know, so
they wanted to be in the club. They're on the plate.
They're on the plate. Yeah. We're all on the menu.
And it's interesting that, oh, and talking about weird shit like that. Remember that movie, The Menu, that just came out? Again, it's like they're telling on themselves.
Yeah, they are. And the thing is, when people complain about Hollywood and they complain about these movies, the reason we're getting shittier and shittier movies is because media consolidation has come down to being controlled by a few fucking people.
Right.
Just like with TikTok. But see, they've gotten to the point that they're so bad. Larry Ellison took and bought TikTok. You can't mention Epstein without getting banned. Mm-hmm. You can't mention the word Zionist without getting flagged. Mm-hmm. All the people that had like millions of subscribers completely squeezed out. So they said, fuck it. They went up to Upscroll. And now TikTok is becoming worthless. There's nothing to go there for because it's all just propaganda for Israel. But they do that. They choke shit out and they promote people. It isn't that we're not capable of having better movies or doing this or that. The talent is out there, but it's who's fucking being promoted.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah,
I
I'm a
was
little
trying
more.
to delete my TikTok account and it would not delete.
Oh, you got to do it on airplane.
On
There's a way of getting rid of it. Yeah, people are just. It had like 150%
I was trying.
uninstall.
I was trying for my computer and it would not. It just kept saying verification sent. I deleted the app off my phone and then I was deleting it off of the
Off your laptop.
laptop and to scrub everything. And then
Someone must have like a way to do it because it's probably got Israeli spyware.
yeah, it just like it will not allow, and I don't want to download the app again. Because you have to, it wouldn't let you go forward unless you hit agree, and then I was able to bypass the agree so that I can download stuff. I mean, delete stuff, and it was just like,
Someone must have like a tutorial how to do that. There's always someone out there that has it. Yeah, so I think we all have to start understanding that the reason films are getting worse is because they don't even care to.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit.
They're getting tax dollars, making movies. They've made several movies that have never even hit the screen.
Yeah. But here's the thing: our dollar's weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Our currency's looking like it's not going to stay long as a reserve currency.
Mm-hmm.
And Dingbat just fucking put tariffs. So all the money coming in, it's Americans who are paying for it. So we're getting choked like from all the prices being inflated for everything. And for the trade deficit that we had with China and everyone else in the world, it went up 94%, even with the tariffs.
Right.
Just doing jack shit.
Jack shit.
Jack shit, man.
I gotta tell you, my check every year, they take out about $44K from my check in taxes. That's like almost 50%. And then you think about you paying tolls, paying for gas, paying insurance for cars. They don't even fix your car when you get into an accident anymore. They want to like say that your car is a loss automatically, and then junk it. Like, well, why am I paying your insurance if you're not going to pay the mechanic to repair it? Because it's the law to fucking have insurance. It's
a death by by 1,000 cuts.
Right.
The death by 1,000 cuts. And if you think of it, it's like this weird, and I've mentioned this before, this weird pyramid scheme.
Mm-hmm.
In which, of course, the ones at the top, it's like the blood flows upwards.
Yes.
We're all getting cut at the bottom, but the blood flows up to them and they get to sit there like giant mosquitoes sucking on our fucking pain.
Right.
And I know people years ago who I would bring up the wealthy. Like I said, I don't give a shit if you're wealthy. I think you're tacky anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, oh, you just got class envy. I don't fucking envy those fuckers. I don't want to eat children and rape children like these fucking assholes.
Right.
You look at Elon Musk begging to go to a pedo party and getting turned down. That's how fucking pathetic you're talking about. The richest man on the earth is.
And you think about the Sandman controversy that happened with Neil Gaiman.
Surprise.
And his first story, if you remember, the Dr. Destiny story was about child pedophilia conventions.
Yeah. I mean, these guys were all predators.
Yeah.
Why were they chosen over other people?
Right.
That makes you wonder, who are the editors who are hiring this guy? Who told the editors to hire this guy? Who are the owners that look to this guy? They could have taken anybody and promoted anybody, and their work would have been seen like, oh, wow, it's genius. Because you have all the newspapers telling us, and we're stupid, and we go, oh, wow, that's genius. Why? Because some newspaper told me. And you'll notice that we never talk about the work anymore. What we talk about is how much money something earned, as though it has some sort of fucking value to the work.
Right.
Oh, it made 100 million. Fuck do I care?
Right. I mean, news outlets I remember like Sickle and Ebert, they never talked about the box office and how much money that came in. They told you whether the movie was sucked or not.
Yeah.
You
like
know?
the acting.
Yeah, the art form of making a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't talk about the art form anymore. We're like,
No, it's all
it
financial.
made
Like,
X amount.
am I an accountant? Why do I need to know this?
Well, cocaine sells a lot. You know, it's not good for you, but it's a hot ticket, right? Like, I mean, does that all of a sudden mean cocaine is like, you know, a great thing?
Right.
Like we're taking quantity and saying fuck quality.
Right.
So people are like, well, why am I going to invest myself in making something good? I'll just try to turn out something that makes a lot of money.
Right.
Right. So,
yeah, it's just so insane. And people are, you know, backbiting each other and shit and attacking each other. And I don't know if you saw my video before this one, but my wife was assaulted yesterday in the streets of Manhattan. And it was just like, what the fuck?
she okay?
She's okay. Yeah, just a little banged up. But I mean, the guy didn't think that I was with her, you know, and literally shoved her on the street. And he had a child with him in his stroller. It's like it was him, his wife. Like
Was it because she was Asian?
I think he assaulted her because she was Asian. Yeah, just like get out of my way. Like he like swung his laundry bag at her. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was uncalled for. It was a narrow path for snow, and I walked by. They walked by. I let the kid pass by. The guy was behind me. He walked by, no problem. You know, it was tight, but nobody touched, nobody banged shoulders. And the guy literally swung his fucking laundry bag at my wife and fucking knocked her on the ground. And I was like, what the fuck? I cursed the dude out. And he was like, what are you going to do about it? It's like, what am I going to do about it? I said, you don't want to fucking find out, motherfucker. It's like, you know, like I got up. I was going to walk towards him, but I was like lifting her up. And then he was backing up like, well, that's what I thought. I was like, dude, are you fucking insane? Like, clearly insane. And then the woman chimes in, oh, my baby is here. This and that. I was like, dude, there's no means for that.
You're doing that in front of a kid.
Right.
So that kid's going to grow up to be an
myself
asshole.
with me. I'm not going to like, you know.
No, but this person is doing this in front of their kid. Their kid's going to grow up to be an asshole too.
Right. And it's
You
like,
know?
it's like, what the fuck is, what have we become as a society?
Well, I think, you know, people have gotten comfortable with their racism and aggressivity.
Oh, yeah. And they just normalize it, you know, it's just, it's,
you know, for the 80s and 90s, they try to keep it under wraps because they don't want to be seen as that's not really cool. It's still a racist fuckers.
It was integrated into the entertainment and normalized, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you know, they always make Asians seem so incredibly other. They make everyone who's not white other.
Right.
I mean, people are freaking out over fucking black mermaids.
Yeah.
And anyone out there who freaks out over black, get a fucking life. It's a fictional character. They're not real. It's not like we're talking about making Abraham Lincoln black. And if there was a play where there's a dude that was Abraham Lincoln that was black, maybe it would be fucking interesting. It's fiction.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the same people don't want to see that the people that they look up to and whose balls they want to suck are fucking eating children.
Right.
You know?
Aniqua Brown made a comment saying they ate slaves and indigenous people. They had no morals at all. And that's
no morals.
Correct.
She's right. She's completely right. They have no morals.
Right. I mean, they slaughtered the natives instead of making nice with them. You had Africans living amongst the natives for
and then they
hundreds of
labeled our ancestors.
Mhm.
As some of my ancestors and your ancestors, Native and African, cannibals.
Right. And they were the cannibals.
They were the cannibals. And the Epstein thing, there was slavery in Canada too. They had some Africans, but the majority of slaves in Canada were little girls.
Right.
They're called a penny. So they've been deviants for a long time. And they don't want to be shown to be deviants because, one, they don't want to change.
Right.
Because if you see it and it doesn't match up, oh, I'm going to have to crack a sweat and be a better person and actually realize that my society isn't so hot. And I can't be on the little high horse that I'm on and shit down on, you know, Muslims and Chinese and whoever the fuck else because I got my own house to fucking work out. That's why.
Yep. Exactly.
Is there any other comments? Because I know last time we missed some comments.
We missed a few comments last time. Let's see the other. Good morning. Wrong. Let's see. Let me see. Go to the comments. You know, it's funny. I remember when I used to have this StreamYard thing, the comments would pop up while we're talking. It doesn't seem that that's linked that way anymore. No, that was the only realize it. You know, it's just
Tell her
you know,
she's fertile.
quite
The 80s.
but it doesn't seem that that's linked that way anymore. No, that was the only realize. That's the thing on Facebook. It's just hard to.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw I heard the doubling up.
The doubling up. It's
There's
like,
a
yeah,
little
you
bit of a
can't.
delay,
It's
too.
like I have it turned on so you could see the comments, but we don't see the comments. It's like, wait a minute. They usually would pop up on the side, but I don't see it popping up for whatever reason. It's not.
Yeah, man. There's so many things in there that I'm like, this is an Epstein kind of episode. We might have to cover more of this because
Right.
it's touching everybody. And it's
As
showing
everybody-
everybody for being.
This is
full
why
of shit.
Tom Hanks was being accused of being a
Mhm.
pedophile, left the country. Ellen DeGeneres left the country. Leonardo DiCaprio left the country. Robert De Niro left the country. All these people went to Europe, got houses abroad because even Rosie O'Donnell went to Ireland. All these people left the United States. They wanted to. They were like, Trump's in power. We're gonna. He's releasing the Epstein files. They're gonna mention us because. So the guilty ran, right? So,
Well, I know that Mel Gibson has talked about he was going to. I'm going to go after the pedos and expose them in Hollywood. But he was Mr. Trump. Got to vote for Trump. King pedo.
Right, exactly.
So don't be surprised if he comes up at some point.
Right.
Don't be surprised. Because I think what it is, it's a faction of two different types of pedos.
Right.
They all get together and then they all hate each other.
Right.
And one's ratting on one, but the
Right.
other one is doing it too. That's what I think.
It's the Christian pedos versus the extreme Republican pedos versus the liberal pedos, and they're all pedos.
But they're all pedos.
Yep. They're all telling us.
saying that we're a pornocracy.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they were saying also that Hillary Clinton was, not sexually abused, but verbally abused and beat the girls. You know, like she was like almost like a dominatrix. You know.
I could see that.
You
I
know.
could see that. There's one email where this will make me laugh, but I'm sure it's coded for a reason that Jeffrey Epstein and someone else is talking about. Hillary was mad with Bill for getting her pregnant. And then,
Right.
and I'm like, I think the big news here is that they're actually even having sex. I mean, like,
Right.
not the picture I want in my brain.
Well,
but-
when the Lewinsky thing happened, they were saying that he said to the paper, I remember saying that he hadn't slept with Hillary for over 10 years during that time.
Right.
That was his excuse. But what's interesting is there was a video that I shared with you a few weeks ago. We didn't post it here, but Monica Lewinsky was already on television as a small child, and it seemed like she was part of this network already, like born into it.
She comes from a Republican family, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And then it's just like ties to this whole thing that we're talking about here. So many celebrities, and I don't know if you saw that Nickelodeon special that came out outing a lot of these people. For these kid shows, the fat guy from Head of the Class was a major pedo. Nickelodeon. Some people were saying that the Nickelodeon, one conspiracy saying the Nickelodeon logo itself is Epstein Island.
Interesting.
Then you had an episode of SpongeBob where he had his driver's license shown, and that was the actual address is Epstein Island.
Not surprised. There's another thing that was revealed in those files and just reminded me. So the Epstein family, it's an exchange between Epstein and one of the Rothschilds.
Mm-hmm.
And she is telling him that Hitler, when he was homeless in Vienna, lived in a homeless shelter that was funded by the Rothschilds and the Epsteins. Because
Well,
the Epsteins...
He's a bastard of the Rothschilds.
Yeah, but the Epsteins were also a banking family from Vienna.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. There's actually an old Alexander Dumas horror mini novel called Epstein Castle. It's about a cruel baron by the name of Epstein. And Alexander Dumas lived in the 19th century. So, you know, they've been in front of us this whole time. But I think many of us want to work, raise our kids, move on with our lives, occasionally catch some news, try to make political judgments. We think we're making political judgments based on the news we're getting. The news we're getting are pedo news because it's all owned by pedos. And then we go, oh, okay, I think I like this person because it kind of aligns with my sensibilities. Meanwhile, you know, it's looking like it's one. I call it the ISP, the Imperial State Party.
Right.
And we get two factions we get to choose from.
Yep, I agree. And talking about these videos, let me see if I click on to see where it goes. Let's see. All right, is that? I'm gonna share this. These are the, you know, like it's superheroes, right? Because we talk about comics. It's like the super villains of the world. I think we need to play this little reel here to.
You mean the Legion of Groom?
Yeah, the Legion of Groom. Man, look at these. I mean, these guys are, and these people are just pure evil with the things that they say. You know, at the World Forum and other places. Here we go.
Argue in the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
You do not even have to have elections anymore because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
You want the function, you want the service, right? Why do you want to own a cell phone if you can just lease it? And if you lease, why shouldn't you lease your refrigerator or your washing machine or your dishwasher? Or why do you want to own it?
I propose putting an end to anonymity on social media.
If 1 billion people stop eating meat, I tell you, it has a big impact.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains? And we measure your brain waves.
There's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. People believing that they've been at Disney World with characters who are not Disney characters, taking photographs with those characters.
And substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations. I could argue.
It's like,
I got a lot of things to think about that. I just sent you something on Instagram.
All right.
You could post it. You could put it up.
Yeah. These are the fucking, it's like the worst of the worst, you know? And you know,
lease my fucking phone. I lease my internet and that shit from them. Like now it has to be the fucking phone. Shrinking populations. Yeah, trying to replace that with machines. Good luck.
Right.
Good fucking luck. With that, we don't. This is the thing. This is something like as much as, and I'm sure you've experienced this as an artist. You've had a horrible client who has no fucking idea what they want, and
many times
cheap. Happens to every artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad's an engineer. Let me tell you that the experience is no different. How it really runs, and he's worked for some big firms in his lifetime. How it works is rich guy gets idea, reads fucking comic book, usually created by someone like us, right? Goes to the engineers, here's a bunch of money, try to get it made. Rich guy goes out in front of everyone, yes, it's going to be made. Engineers are looking at that going, is this guy fucking on crack? And what they go is like, yeah, all right, let's just pretend we're doing this shit. And that's the reality of it. These people have no fucking clue the amount of energy, the amount of time, materials, brains that go into it.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why, as much as people fucking freak out about Genghis Khan, he did do this. When he went into a town, he said, what do you do? Oh, I'm a craftsman. You get to live. What do you do? I'm a silversmith. You get to live. Oh, I'm rich. Kill this fucker. They're useless. All they can do is bullshit us. All that they've got for us is these little tickets that we do. They have nothing. They don't know how to create these things. They hire people to create these things.
They
These
just
are
manage it.
created
They're
by
managers. They take all the music, all the
all the creation. They have nothing without us. This AI stuff that they're pumping out to
Mhm.
replace it doesn't. It's not the same feeling. Even the people that they've put in front of us, the Taylor Swifts,
Right.
really?
Psyop, my God, yeah.
You take Madonna at her worst is still better. At her worst, drunk, hangover, coke, drugged up,
Right.
one leg hanging out, out of the bathtub. She still produces something better than that.
Yeah. And
And
then
I'm
she
not
also does like witch rituals and all that weird shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And what they're doing is that they're so debaucherous that they're trying to get some semblance of reality. You can see it with like David Bowie. David Bowie had a fantastic transformation in many ways.
Yeah.
You see him in the 70s, drug head, all this stuff.
Mhm.
And then you start seeing him too when he's older, and he seems more grounded because
Mhm.
he was literally at the edge
Mhm.
of, joining the 27 Club, as they call it, right?
Mhm.
A lot of these people, it's not an easy job to do.
Mhm.
But I sent you a history thing.
You got it right here. Boom.
So in 1672, during a tumultuous period known as the Rampagear, sorry for my Dutch people if I mispronounced it, John de Witt, a prominent Dutch statesman, was lynched by a mob and his body was partially eaten by the crowd. This shocking event occurred as he was blamed for the country's military failures during the war with England and France. What they are afraid of
Right.
is if things fuck up, is the dormant beast of the population.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from what you read, they were so mad with this guy. I've never been so mad I want to eat someone. That's just you gotta be like next level, like
Fucked up in the head.
No, thank you. I think I'll pass. They partially ate this guy.
Yeah.
They were so furious with them. And that's what they're afraid of. And they're afraid that we actually become democratic and that we actually get to vote and actually do things. Because in the United States, we kind of vote.
Yeah. Not really. We still have we still have that fucking system where not every vote is counted.
The Electoral College.
Electoral College, yeah.
Absolutely. That's
And
why
that
when
was
people
because
say,
of slavery, right? They never got rid of that.
MAGA did not vote him in.
No.
It was a bunch of Electoral College voters.
Yep.
MAGA just believes.
And we don't even know their identities, which is even more crazy. Is that we don't know these people's identities, kind of like the people who rate movies.
Yeah,
Who the fuck are these people?
Or eat babies.
Or eat babies.
Or eat
I was gonna
babies.
play this video here. It's talking about the history of lynching. All right, like there we go. We get the. It's weird every time. Oh, there we go. The volume is sometimes on the top, sometimes it's on the bottom.
Whose feet you see dangling above is 16-year-old Lige James. The date was August 20th, 1920. And this picture was taken shortly after his lynching outside the courthouse in Center, Texas. Take a look at the faces of the men and boys standing around underneath his lifeless body. Smiles and smirks, but mostly that self-conscious look that you get when you're posing for the camera. Check out these smiles in this picture. Now here's the full picture. Looking at those faces, you would never imagine that they were standing over the burnt body of a man. His body still smoldering from being set on fire. Another black man, Will Brown, dragged out of a courthouse by a mob as he screamed and pleaded his innocence. That's Laura Nelson, a mother hanged from a bridge in Oklahoma in 1911, and her teenage son dangling right next to her. A crowd of people on the bridge posing. See, between the 1880s and the 1940s, lynching was not just a form of racial terror. It was a public spectacle, like watching a sport. entertainment. Across the South, Midwest, and West, mobs tortured, hanged, and burned Black men, women, and children by the thousands. Crowds of hundreds and even sometimes thousands gathered to watch. When portable cameras became common in the early 1900s, photographers began documenting these events. And they didn't just document the violence. They posed the crowds of people who were eager to be in these pictures. They captured images of murder and sold printed copies as souvenirs. These photographs were turned into postcards. They were mailed across the country to relatives and friends. The U.S. Postal Service delivered them without restriction. There were hundreds, and in some cases, thousands in circulation. 1908, the Postmaster General finally banned postcards depicting lewd, obscene, or indecent images. But the photographs still circulated underground, sold privately or passed hand to hand as tokens of white racial dominance.
The book that she was borrowing from, the images come from this book that I've seen firsthand many years ago. It's again disturbing, but you can actually find it on Amazon. Out of all things that you can see, right? Just right here. Without Sanctuary by Leon F. Litwack, right? This came out in 1999, this book. Just documenting the history through photography of these horrific acts. If you haven't seen it, I mean, if you really have a strong stomach to want to see stuff like that, but
It's always been there.
It's always been there. This is American history, right? They want to make America great again. What are they talking about? When was that?
America first, KKK slogan.
Right. Yep. And Nazis, right? Germany first. You know, it's like.
Well, they borrowed it from because America First came out with Wilson.
Yeah.
The Germans borrowed all that shit from
us,
and yeah, there's a lot of it. This is not it's just
scratching the surface.
I think it takes for, they're doing away people too now,
right?
Which they always happen. They just kept it quiet, kept them distracted,
right?
You know.
I mean, meanwhile, you just have this stuff just occurring. It's insanity, just pure. And then, with supposed ceasefire that people are still being bombed daily.
In Gaza.
They just killed 30 more kids bombing a school.
Did you see that the
station?
That Israel finally admitted that 70,000 people were killed in Gaza, which is probably much higher than that. But that was the number that the Palestinians had. They actually
they were saying it was 450,000 a few months ago, and then people just dropped that number back down to under 100,000. But it's like, because it's like 2.5 million people now. Now if you listen to what they're saying, they're like, oh, we don't know what to do with this 1.5 million people. It's like, what happened to the 2.5? Where did they go? Not everybody had.
They don't care about us, man.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
But you know what? I don't care about them. I don't care about all these wealthy fuckers.
Yeah.
If we woke up tomorrow and they were gone, somehow they woke up, they had heart attacks and everything else.
Yeah.
It'd be the biggest blessing on this planet.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
These people are wicked, man.
Yeah. Very, very wicked, Very wicked. And again, this all started going back to, I feel like, shifting during 9/11. Like 9/11, I think, was the hallmark of their saying, we're ready to fuck the United States. It's like everyone is complicit. What did George Bush say on national television? You're either with us or against us. And they all like, They're all clapping.
Because they all eat children.
Yeah, and that was the most horrific speech. Sent chills through my body.
I remember seeing that thinking, this dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
And anyone who, if that's their goal to make the United States bankrupt, what's going to replace?
One Israel, 50 states.
What's going to replace? Yeah, but if Israel's no longer there, because they're going to fuck with Iran.
Right.
Now,
well, I think the end game is to destroy everything so that God comes back.
Yeah, but Israel has nukes. I remember having friends who used to tell me all this shit, both Muslim, Jewish, whatever. I'm like, let's suppose the supposed God that you look to doesn't turn around and say, I'm fucking sick of all of you.
Right.
Buy the whole thing.
Right.
That option hasn't crossed their mind. Have they not read the Old Testament?
Right.
And occasionally just goes, fuck this shit. Right? That's their God. Wipes everything out with the flood.
Right.
Destroys cities.
Right. The jealous God, El.
The jealous God, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of tired of you fucking assholes. That happens all the time. They ended up in Babylon. Why did they end up in Babylon? Because they pissed off their God, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So it comes down to that. It's like, that option didn't enter their heads. They think, oh, I know God's mind, which is actually one of the most arrogant fucking shit statements I hear a lot of Christians saying. My thing is like this. Something that is infinite, something that I can't really see, I can only even fathom a fraction of it. I'm not trying to figure out what it knows.
Right.
I'm too small to figure that shit out. And it's too arrogant. Some arrogant shit. But they're going to destroy, if they bankrupt the United States, and say we lose aircraft carriers. Like, this is a reality. If we lose aircraft carriers, then what? What's going to be the response? Because Trump's going to be sitting there holding his severed dick.
Right, right.
And the rest of us are going to be like, dude, I thought we were the most powerful military on the planet.
Right.
That's going to send a psychological shock that none of us, I think, are ready to absorb. We barely absorbed 9/11. That would be like, whoa, we're not Captain America, or it's like seeing Captain America have his arms cut off. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then he's getting beaten with his own shield because he's got no arms,
Right.
These fucking fantasies we have of being like untouchable is insane. Meanwhile, we couldn't beat Vietnam, Afghanistan, Yemen.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what these guys are thinking. I mean, they
can't win. America hasn't won a war in a long time.
And even the one that we won was with the assistance of other countries.
Other countries, right?
Yeah. Like, the Soviets, the Chinese, the British, to a great degree, a small degree, the French. It wasn't just us alone.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It just
so.
Yeah, man. It's like, what the flying fuck?
Oh man.
I don't know if you've seen this guy. I don't know if I sent you this video or not, but there's this guy that does I think he's Mexican, I'm not sure, but he calls himself a time traveler. He's clearly using AI, and he does these videos of like walking through time and talking through people in history.
Oh, I've seen shit like that. Yeah. Photoshop and
yeah, it's very interesting. The one that he did recently on the White House. I was gonna share that.
I think a lot of the things are right. This is how they also operate. My estimate, I can't really say with certainty it is that, but my guess, they put out a lot of conspiracy theories.
Intentionally.
But they also promote conspiracy theories that are kind of crazy, but has a little bit of truth. Right. But because they're crazy, you're like, fuck that shit. That's not real.
That's not real.
But there are elements of truth in it, so they tell on themselves.
Oh, absolutely. I think they have to tell on themselves, right? It's almost like a something to do with consent.
think it's bragging.
You know,
I'm doing it to your face.
right? Like,
You know,
look what
like
we're
take
doing
that.
here. You can't do shit. Yeah,
It's bragging rights.
right. Exactly.
All right, so here.
Yeah, bragging rights. You're absolutely right. So
Who cut
take
his
it.
hair? Oh, that poor man.
It's
Did
Guy
someone just put a
Gardner.
bowl on his head?
Guy Gardner. Check
All
this
right.
out.
I am
He
outside
needs
the
the
White
time
House.
traveling doing it to him.
Yeah, 2050. Sun is hitting hard and there's no one, just me and the wind. Look at this place, Compass. All right.
I just said 2050. Now, I think it's going to happen a lot sooner. And then this is him in the year.
¿Qué rollo, plebes? Miren nomás dónde andamos, en la Casa Blanca del año 2200. Se ve bien futurista, ¿a poco no? Estoy iluminado con esos LEDs y las banderas gringas hechas de puro holograma. Allá atrás traen un anuncio que va girando, va diciendo las noticias y la hora. Chequen los robots, bien firmes cuidando la entrada. Hasta los drones. ¿Qué rollo?
I got to say, his videos are impressive.
They're very impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of crazy. There's a lot of shit out there. But I posted a bunch of shit that I wanted to put out there. We covered some of the ICE stuff. A lot of crazy stuff out there. It's just too much, you know.
Yeah, it is. I'm still digging through I'll be digging through Epstein stuff for a while.
Yeah.
It's 3 million files.
I mean, this is something I did on AI. Just like.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's your new avatar, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I was messing around. You know, I encourage my students to use AI as a sketch resource, as a tool, you know. And we actually did a painting together based on an AI concept, and then I printed it out, projected it, and then we actually painted it. You know, and again, I tell them, like, these ideas you can put out there, you can, you know, like even some of the AP kids are like, you know, it's like, what do? We look through magazines when we were younger, when we were looking for ideas, right? We looked through books, we looked through, you know, we didn't have cell phones, right? We were using reference. So I think the unique thing is that you're creating your reference. You're like, well, this is what I want. This is what it should look like. Add this, add that. And then you get that, and that's not your final. That's your
Right. But we were paying for those references.
Yeah. We
were paying for those references. Now, if they were paying the artists for the AI, it would be something. But right now, it literally pillages other people's work, and that's where I can't bring myself to use it.
Yeah.
You know, but I understand what you're saying. Collage is a form of doing that.
Right.
Really,
Photoshop.
AI is like the 21st century clip art.
Yes,
right?
it's a clip art. Exactly.
Clip
That's
art.
exactly what it is. It's
You know, and you could have a much better ethical database where artists could actually sell their works to be used, because people sell clip art. You sell it because you're like, fuck, I need like an extra $100. I'll make this clip art and sell it. And it could be more ethical, but these people want to fucking they want it for free. And that's where I have my issue with AI.
Right.
And then it's being sold to us that it's something that it's not. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. We would go through that. And sometimes inspiration would come in a weird way too. But, you know, you want to get the reference right and stuff, but we paid for it. We paid for all those references.
Right.
You know, and I think there's got to be a better equitable way of if we're going to continue that way with it. So that's my issues with AI.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, I feel that the reason why I tell them to do it, because everyone's jumping on this, but then they're like, no, don't use it. Don't use this. It's like, well, how are we really preparing kids for the future if we're telling them not to use some things now? It's almost like when people are like, don't use Photoshop because you're putting out a lot of airbrush artists out of business.
Well, I think it's different. It's not even accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen better Photoshop jobs done.
Right.
My wife was just trying to fix up some
Right.
photos.
Right.
It just fucked it up. You just waste more time with it.
Right.
I am of the mind that it could go the way of NFTs.
Yes.
Be kind of like something where it's a filter, in my view.
Right.
It might as well just be a filter in
Right.
Photoshop. A little more sophisticated, but it's really not all that it's cracked up to be. The depressing part is,
Right.
if that's the best of the technology we have,
Right. Well, I think it's a tool for misinformation too. I mean, we're seeing that already. I mean, but did you see this? The Guinness Book of World Records lifts Israel's ban following largest kidney donation ever. Now, I remember when they were reporting that, that they're finding bodies with missing organs, a lot of news cycles didn't want to talk about that. But where did they get the 2,000 kidneys from?
Gee, there's 70-some thousand people dead.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you, soldiers too, Israeli soldiers. They're not above harvesting them either.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I don't know if you know about the sperm extraction.
Right. They
for
have hearts,
soldiers.
lungs, kidneys, cornea, skin surgically removed.
Yeah.
And they were the ambulance drivers that were found without skin. The ones that they buried with the ambulance who were responding to that
Yeah,
call.
I'm not surprised, man. They, like I said, it's a nihilistic mindset. Nothing
Yeah.
is sacred.
But it's just like, how does someone remove another human being's skin?
You view them as not being human.
But it's clearly
it's messed up, but it's othering, right? Like, well, they're not
Yeah.
people.
That's a
It's-
whole lot of othering. I mean, that's a lost population.
Well, you view them as an animal.
Yeah.
I notice they'll talk about Palestinians like they're animals.
Yeah.
It's a whole other level of, and I mean,
It's like a religious brainwashing. It's a cult,
yeah,
you know?
all that Manchurian Candidate, MK Ultra type thing. I think the key thing is religion,
Right.
in a sense. Like this, you're doing it for a greater cause.
Yeah, it's pretty
fucked up.
pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Pretty I don't think I
It's
could.
funny because as a kid, my mom used to tell me, and I used to think, and I used to say, whatever, mom. It's like, if you go out, be careful. If you put your drink down, don't drink from it. And because you don't want to wake up in a bathtub
Right.
and you're missing your kidneys.
Right.
And, as a teenager, you're like, whatever, mom, you're getting overboard. But now I'm like, no, I don't know where she was reading this shit, but she was on the money. You don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah, no, it's really nuts. Just like, what the hell?
You don't know.
And then there was the strike on that police station. And
is this in LA?
No, this was on Instagram in Gaza. In Gaza, like they had a police station hit. More tents. So that was, I guess, last
غارة تستهدف مخيم غيث في مواصل خان يونس. الآن الطيران الحربي يطلق صاروخ الآن
Those are just women and children, right? Families. They're trying to rebuild. And you have their peace officers, their police officers being. It's interesting because
thing
they
is-
created their police officers, stole their wealth. They stole their wealth earlier. And they.
And the thing is, if they build anything there, like this resort that they want to build,
Yeah.
a lot of the people are going to get sick.
Right.
Because a lot of the stuff that they drop there is toxic.
Right.
So it's like
It's gonna kill them too. Like
it's gonna
years
kill
later.
them too. That's why it's like a weird, like dumb sort of type of nihilism in which
They don't even
nothing
think
matters.
about. Yeah, they don't think about. Hey, what is the repercussions of this shit down the road? You know?
Yeah, like we don't know if they're using like a lot of times they would use metal that was radiated,
Right.
like radioactive material. So a lot of our soldiers coming back from Iraq were so fucked up that they were having. I remember it was a young man in Harlem. He
Right.
had a child, and the child came with was born without any eyes,
Right.
and I think he served in a tank battalion or something.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's a guinea pig.
Right. Exactly. And also it's just like that happens to not just soldiers, but then people later on. Look at Vietnam, right? Vietnam went through the same thing. Like
Napalm. They're still being born with defects.
Defects and deficits. Yeah.
Yeah, like kids born sometimes with two heads, or all sorts of deformities.
Joint twins. Yeah.
Seriously, if Vietnam could take our country to court,
right? Exactly. They would win a fucking load of money. That's for sure. They would lose a lot of money.
Not that our money's worth much anymore. Keeps getting freaking
right,
taking a hit.
Yeah, it's just freaking wild. Any new books you've been reading or working on anything new?
I'm working on something. I'm just doing all the guess you could say the environment design.
Right.
And stuff. Hard to concentrate though. And it's funny because this thing with Epstein brings up my the story that I put on pause, or our latest ghost metal. We have put it on pause for a year, called Necrocon. And it's literally about, well, right now in the story, you have a young man, a group of young people who are investigating homeless people disappearing.
Right.
And then you have people in Mexico who have escaped from the United States to make it back to Mexico because there's underground tunnels and shit.
Right.
And you have this political party called the Necrocons who've just been voted in. And this is an idea we had 20 some years ago.
Right.
A lot of the stuff that we were talking and we're going to get to is actually, with the exception of I don't want to give it all away, but it's coming to fruition. It was, yeah. And that's what's so wild about the Epstein stuff. And looking at it, it's like,
this is a good story.
Right. We were sort of trying to make this a semi-comedy, but it's less comedy and more
right. More
real.
Too close to home, as they say, or too close to the vest, right?
Yeah. So
yeah,
as I'm working on this other thing, my brain's sort of shifting to the other, going, fuck.
Yeah. I had to take a break from my Trump book just so I could work on something that makes me happy. I'm getting just blood pressure's going up, trying to regulate that. So I was like, I need to work out and exercise.
Yeah, I wanted to get back to the other one because it's like, we got to get this done.
Right, exactly.
But
yeah, I mean, I've been pretty productive putting out stuff that has been sitting around for a long time. But I just got more to go. I mean, this I thought was interesting. We talked about ICE last week, and I wanted to bring this up real quick about the identities of ICE. This guy.
Oh my God! They doxed ICE agents. They made a compiled list of all the ICE agents. Oh my God! Nobody should watch this video or repost it or like it or comment, because that will only boost it. This is horrific, diabolical. Can't stand for this. Nobody should take this information. We don't want to put these people in danger at all. At all. Nope. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's almost like the list just don't stop. You know? Wow. Horrific.
I can see most people are probably
Got to be careful with your information out here.
or like
Somebody can take it and spread it.
or IDF.
Oh my God.
You know.
Well, I got something to tell you.
What's that?
From this side of the pond. You might have seen it. Maybe you saw it in my posting, but ICE is supposed to be guarding the American consulate or whatever it is in Italy for the Winter Olympic Games here in Europe. So people in Milan were like, "Fuck no, you can take your ICE and fuck off."
Right.
What the fuck is ICE doing over here? You usually get, I don't know, the FBI, CIA, whatever it might be, but ICE. So
Right.
it seems that ICE was supposed to be rolled out not just as a national, but an international entity.
But they're a bunch
That
of
was the plan.
fucks.
Here in France, the far right was sharing pictures of Alex Preti, doctored. You know how he's holding the phone?
Right.
Well, they had changed it where he was holding a gun.
Gun, yes. The AI item, yeah. I saw that.
And the French were sharing it here, the French right. The same
Right.
French right that was getting I think it was 4.5 million from Steve Bannon.
Wow.
All of these fuckers are owned. All of them are owned. All of them are on their knees. All of them are Epstein boys. Every single last
Every single
one.
one of them. Yep. I believe it.
Well, it's in the
I
files.
believe it.
It's all there. It's all there.
Yeah,
There's
there's
a comment?
no, that was my phone. Let me see.
Oh, that's your phone. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my phone. No comments as of yet. Let's see. Let's see. So, that's 29 views. People have been peeking in and out. Not bad, Facebook. Not
I
bad.
actually shared one of the clips on Upscroll, but I didn't get any.
Yeah, it's funny. I did that upscroll thing like you suggested. And there was like this post about this guy. They're showing all these Hamas soldiers. Like, where are you, motherfuckers? You're not in the war front.
Well, the thing is, this is supposed to be where you're able to say shit, not get censored. But that's not going to be true. Those guys, everybody will get censored at some point.
Yeah.
So we're going to be digital nomads. We're going to have to hopscotch from app to
Yes.
app.
From app to app, just to get
Although Hamas was not in the Epstein files.
right.
But
they're not fighting. They're not fighting to defend their people either.
Well, but they weren't on the Epstein files. Netanyahu was.
Right.
Who else was in the Epstein files? ISIS.
ISIS
Daesh is in the Epstein files, and it's Epstein said that the United States is funding ISIS.
Oh yes. Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you heard about that 5-year-old that was
Yeah, he's sick.
they locked him up, and then this cartoonist did this thing, which I thought was.
And how many kids like that, man?
I know, so many.
These kids should be going to school.
Right. You're the worst of the worst. I mean, really? It's like this is. The ICE are the worst of the worst. You have to be a shitty human being.
Well,
to do something like that. To take a job like that,
What's presented to us is very simple. Again, that death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
They're going to clear up your student debt. Holy shit. You know how many people out of desperation will sign up because our country is a dog-eat-dog country? Be like, fuck them. I'll sign up. I'll make the money. I need to clear my student debts.
Well, even when they were talking, when Trump was saying that he'll pay $1,500 to anyone that reports people, our own students, we had like American kids saying we're going to report the African kids, the American black kids are going to report the African kids. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You have the certain African kids. They're like, oh, we're from Ghana and they're from Nigeria. We're going to report them. We're going to make money. And then you have we're going to report the Mexican kids. We're going to report the El Salvadorian kids. Now, they have no idea what their status is.
Yeah.
They just make the assumption, like every other idiot,
Mhm.
saying, oh, they must be illegal.
It's a pyramid of shit.
Yeah.
Right
I mean,
there.
I had kids that self-deported, their families just left the country. Like they're going back before they end up in a,
You know, but here's the thing, like, there's going to come a point because our economy, as the video you sent me before the show, I've always said this, our economy is not sustainable.
Right.
Europe has never created a sustainable system that does not involve exploitation.
Right.
Because the system always needs to feed a few.
Right.
So if you get rid of enough people, who's going to pick the food? So again, sinking dollar, tariffs through their nose.
Yeah, it's
no
insanity.
food, and they're talking about fucking AI in the future, and our electrical grid could go like that. A tree knocked it down in 2003. A fucking tree. Like, these people, either we think that they have a sinister plan,
Right.
which clearly they're showing from seeing fuckheads like Elon Musk, the dead fish face boy, because he looks like a dead fish, or they're just so completely removed that they just completely are all for their own pleasures and debauchery. And that's what I think they are. They don't give, they just think things work and they'll continue to work and they'll always be on top. And
right.
Little do they know the house is burning down. They don't give a shit because they've convinced themselves they've got impervious skin. And somehow, even if the house burns down, they'll walk out like the molten man, right?
Right.
Unscathed. I think we're dealing with like some serious fucked up people. I don't joke about that. And I know I've been ranting about the whole show. I've been saying shit. But
no, there's a depravity. There's a depravity in there,
Mm-hmm. We need to be around each other. We might have different incomes, different things. But I think being around other people and being aware of the reality of other people keeps us sane. Right. When you have wealth that removes you from being around other people,
right,
then you start getting these weird ideas. Hey, man, I just watched heavy metal. What if I chopped off my arm and I got a saw arm like the dude in heavy? Like, no.
Right. It's like, no.
It's a cartoon.
It's not real. It's like the people don't realize that your body will reject anything. You have people that have kidney transplants, liver transplants, heart transplants, and their body rejects it. Just like the guy that they're like, oh, he successfully cloned a human heart made from a rat or a pig or whatever it was. And that guy died. Like, he had that heart in his chest for maybe 6 months and died. His body rejected it.
Yeah. It's very rare. I mean, there are times when the body doesn't. But
Right.
even like steel plates, there's reasons why they use gold over other things, because gold somehow your body doesn't reject it.
Yeah.
But this idea of becoming cyborgs, we're comic book creators. To me, it's absurd. It's what? Dude, that just looks cool on a page or like a statue or a toy.
Right. Not in real life. Nobody wants to
It's
live
like
in
real life. What are you talking about?
Nobody wants to really be Frankenstein.
Right. It takes comic book creators to say, like, dude, whoa, wait a second.
Right.
What the fuck you talking about? Like, think about the absurdity of that.
Right.
Comic book creators being more realistic
Right.
than the richest people on the planet.
Right.
That is fucking absurd.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
absurd.
It is. Talk about absurdities. Take a look at this. Can't get crazier than this. Oops, get the volume up. What?
Like Israel and its military. Why is the US and ICE behaving so much like Israel and its military? As Trump's masked agents terrorize neighborhoods all across the US, it's hard not to see the parallels. The violence, the in-your-face lies, the slandering of their victims, and the self-victimization of themselves. Take the murder of Renee Nicole Good. The administration is demanding that you believe something that's completely different from what you can see with your own two eyes. They accuse her of
terrorism
and say that she
weaponized her vehicle
and that she was stalking agents who then feared for their lives. ICE is behaving how Israel does every time they kill a Palestinian child, doctor, journalist, or parent. We describe it simply. Every accusation is a confession. Everything ICE has done before and after killing Renee Good make the parallels almost too hard to ignore. For one, both the Israeli army and ICE are unimaginably violent, often unprovoked. Both have an knack for ramming people's cars or pulling people out of them, brutally arresting and assaulting common people as if they're dangerous threats, and blocking doctors or ambulances from reaching their victims. Both also act as completely unaccountable occupying forces. In Palestine, Israeli soldiers oversee a vicious apartheid system. In the US, masked agents demand people's papers, beat up kids at Target, and march around towns as if they're scoping out another country for the US to attack. And then there's the rhetoric. In addition to smearing victims as terrorists, they both build pretexts to justify even more violence, even against kids. Both, after acting in a way that causes any normal person to be outraged, then howl that they're the ones with the right to defend themselves.
That guy acted in self-defense.
Right, in self-defense. Both use propaganda videos to not just lie, but completely reframe reality.
ICE agents and CBP officers that are out on our streets doing God's work live in these communities.
And both are pouring millions into influencing you and keeping the violence coming. And finally, there's the links between US and Israeli agencies, security partnerships and cooperation agreements, synergy and admiration between their border walls, sharing the same weapons and surveillance suppliers. There's even an ICE office in Tel Aviv. It's all so similar for a reason. If the people in power saw how tolerant we were to send our tax dollars to help Israel occupy and carry out a genocide in Palestine, some of those same tactics were bound to come home. Violence we support or even tolerate elsewhere only tarnishes our own soul, and it makes it all the more likely it'll come back to be used against all of us. That's right, including you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, I think that was a bit long, but I think it was necessary to.
Well, I want to add something to him.
Go for it.
Before ICE, before even Israel existed, all that was being done to Native Americans.
That's correct.
All the same lies,
Mhm.
all the same bullshit.
Mhm.
The massacre of Wounded Knee, they killed mostly old people and kids.
Mhm.
They painted it as that. This is very much it's America's soul. Like I've said before, the Israelis are mostly American.
Right.
There is, it's a weird sort of like we start it, it goes out, it comes back, and it loops back in. Like he's saying, that part is true.
You said there was some Hispanics, some blacks, some Asians, some there was like different people there that in those reveal in our little reveal.
Little revealed, yes.
And it's sad that even some of them lie. Like they had a Hispanic woman. There was a video I watched last week of a woman lying to the guy, saying, "Oh, well, we're gonna just don't worry about it. Give us your ID. If you're not a citizen, we'll just send you back home. This is part of the process, and we're gonna help you for your citizenship papers or whatever." The guy was legally here, and they were gonna just put him in a prison. She was like blatantly lying to him, and she's clearly like a Hispanic herself.
Yeah. Well, they always get one of our own, as they say. All skin folk ain't kin folk.
Amen to that.
So.
Amen to that. Yeah, it's crazy. I thought it was a heavy one. Maybe we should end it early.
Yeah, it was heavy, but to add, what do we call our weapons?
Right.
Name our weapons after Tomahawk, Apache.
Right.
We name it after the people that were kicked off the land,
Right.
mistreated in a very similar way. They used to scalp them. There's a whole genocide that happened in California people don't fucking talk about. And it was state sanctioned, by the way.
Right.
So to the people who are like, oh, no. America's the template. Stop watching watching Friends and thinking that Friends or Marvel or any of that is America. It's a very idealized. Wow, I would love to see that America, you know.
Right. Exactly.
But it's an idealized version of it. So, all right.
All right, man. So I think it was pretty heavy. Let's wrap this one up. We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay.
And episode 18. Yay. We're getting close.
19, man. 19.
19. Whoops. Getting closer to the end. Getting closer to the apocalypse.
I think we're getting out of the apocalypse.
Right.
I think we've been living in the dystopia. I don't think we realize that.
Right. And one of the episodes that we were actually, I think it was blocked. I think it was one of the first 2 episodes we had played this song that I had put together differently, and then no longer can get that back. So
it got IDF'd.
Right. I think they need to come up with an ice song next. But it's like
well, we're living in the ice age.
We're in the ice age. We went from the dark ages to the ice ages. Yeah.
Ice ages.
Yes.
The ice age, man.
This is the ice age for real, man. So we're gonna go out with this song here.
Okay.
We're gonna
And I want to thank everyone. I got it all off my chest. Well, not all of it, but a good deal.
Not all of it, but we got more. We got more to come. There's no shortage of
bullshit
of shit that we can say. There's a ton of stuff. We have a ton of. I'm filled with rage like a teenager.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, I know that I usually joke more.
Right.
I think I'm a little more playful usually, but today I'm sorry.
No, that was, we had to talk about that eating children stuff. That was really, it's not fake. It's not a conspiracy. It's all fucking.
It's funny because years ago, if you said it, sorry, I know you're going to put the song on.
No, it's
you'd
fine.
been called anti-Semitic.
Right.
But the people who were eating the kids weren't, it was George Bush Sr.
Right.
He's not Jewish, so I'll leave it there.
The CIA. Yeah, these are celebrities that are Americans. These are Americans. I remember even not Britney Spears.
He's in it.
The one that sings that Christmas song. What's her name? The one that
Mariah
Carey's sister said that they had to sacrifice babies for her record to be successful. She was saying a lot of stuff. Her mother was coming out, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Mariah Carey's mother and sister both died at the same day. And they weren't together. And nobody was like, something's wrong with this. But those videos were going viral on TikTok and Instagram.
You know what I have to say, man? You know how they just released all the names of the ICE agents?
They need to release all the celebrities.
All the guys who are doing all the knocking off of people.
Yeah.
We need their names, addresses, names of everything. We need to even know their blood type.
Right.
Just like they're doing to the ICE agents. And you watch all of a sudden people won't be dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, we could go on all night.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Death to the red hat, man. Let's do it.
Death to the red hat, death to the white hood, death to the old right. White flight, white plight. Whites think that might is right. Whites think that they have been abandoned and misunderstood. They think America has forgotten their greatness and wants them to remember that they built this country on the backs of people of color, not their white fathers, sisters, and mothers and brothers like they were led to believe. They allow themselves to drink the Kool-Aid and be deceived. You're not misunderstood. We hear you loud and clear. We see you illegally deporting migrants because of your white fragility and you white fear. Back away, Karen, stop filming me. I don't want you to come near. I don't need to show you ID or explain why I'm here. Death to the red hat. It doesn't make America great. Death to the white hood. It's a symbol of hate. Death to the alt-right. They fear that the Jews will replace them. But kidnap immigrants, beat, jail, and deport them. Immigrants are the spine of this nation, they work. They fingers to the bone while you red hat shop at the mall to spend all of your tax-free dough. Even though you point the finger at my mind, call her a welfare queen. What the fuck does that actually mean? You rigged the system to benefit your race. Now you look at us coming up like the Jeffersons and try to keep us in our place. We're moving on up, so get out of our way. Mexican immigrants had the border cross them and not the other way. You demand respect, but your addiction to fentanyl, Oxycontin, and heroin has you walking the beat like the living dead. Zombies strung out, passed out, and stinking up the streets, living under bridges, parking lots, and scream, it's a free country. What the heck? Keep your ass in check. Latinos outnumber you. Your clouded white privilege shrinks you in the closed-minded speck. People of color are rising up and demand your respect. Death to the red hat. It doesn't make America great. Death to the white hood. It's a symbol of hate. Death to the alt-right. They fear that the Jews will replace them. But kidnap immigrants, beat, jail, and deport them. You wear a mask even though you have a badge. You cover your shame. You arrest and you blame because you want to win the game.